So that was my first thought, was it sucks for the developers. You know, I'm not even a fan of Rockstar right now. I think that Rockstar's gotten pretty gross, to be honest. But as a whole, I've felt this way about, you know, the industry and developers, and the way that, the relationship between us as gaming enthusiasts and developers, and the way it has degraded over time. Don't get me wrong, there's issues on both sides of this ball field, right? Um, both sides of the pitch, if you will. Um, they've done us dirty many, many times. They've done us flipping dirty, dude. You want to talk about hyping up games, so much being put into the marketing and promotion of games, and then releasing them whenever they don't fulfill those promises, whether it be performance or content or both or whatever. They have duped us so many times. And I myself am jaded by it. I know many of the other people in this community and many of the other consumers and gaming enthusiasts in the world are jaded by it. It's resulted in, I think, more piracy than there ever would be had developers and publishers not done that kind of thing in large part. Um, I've been very, very vocal about the fact that, unfortunately, in the industry, there's no like regulatory committee that holds these companies responsible for doing that kind of thing. So it's on us as the consumer to do it. Either you take action in remembering what companies do you wrong and don't support them anymore, or you feed the beast. It is what it is. Gaming's supposed to be about having fun, but we can really only protect ourselves. There's nobody else out there in this industry, no committee, no organization, nothing like that, that's going to do it for us, right? And here's the thing. On the flip side of this coin, there have been, and we always talk about how important it is in this community, right? We feel it's very important to have open lines of communication with developers and publishers and things like that. Games that traditionally have open lines of communication through the development process and everything like that, to get good feedback from us as the fan base and the community behind those games that are interested in playing them, tend to be better. They tend to do better. They incorporate more of the things that we want to see. And those lines of communication are important. But you can't knock these companies for feeling very, very reluctant to open lines of communication with us anymore, when we've had people do things like show up at their place of work, or even show up at people's private residence and threaten people over a video game. You know what I mean? With personal harm, threaten their families, things of that nature. So, and don't get me wrong, I think it's a minority, a small percentage of the people that are a part of us as the consumer and gaming enthusiasts that have resorted to those kinds of actions, but it's not acceptable. And you have to understand why it has probably, I would say most definitely, led to a lot of these developers and publishers being very, very hesitant, if not being totally reluctant, to have open lines of communication with us moving forward, because it's too flippin' scary, right? So there have been, and I'm just covering a few aspects of things that have happened in the industry over time that I think are big spotlights, but there's more to it, right? They've done wrong, we've done wrong, but it's I don't understand why people feel like this is the play. All this does is continue to degrade that relationship with developers. And again, I'm not a fan of Rockstar right now. I think they're disgusting. I think doing things like releasing a game 13 years after it was initially released, porting it to modern platforms and making people pay a $50 price point which is really what a price point should have been for a game that would be remastered, is absolutely disgusting. That is taking advantage of us as the consumer. That's gross. That shouldn't happen, you know? But this is not good either. Whenever we get people that are constantly data mining information, hacking into companies, stealing info, leaking content, and pushing developers' hands into giving us information when they're not ready, it messes with their process. We have enough issues in the industry right now with games being released unfinished without the right kind of content, and I can only assume that us making them, messing with their process doesn't help anything. I can only imagine. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here, but I definitely don't think that us constantly trying to leak information, data mine information, steal information, and leak it about these projects and everything is the answer. I don't think it's good for the industry. I don't think it's good for the relationship between them and us. And I'm not a fan of it, man. And I've been very vocal about this for a long time. I think it needs to stop. But a lot of people don't look at it like that. They're just like, oh, God, I can't wait. I'm going to do everything I can to get information before I would eventually get it anyways. What does that do for you? What is that actually doing for people? I don't understand. The developer and the publisher are going to give you that information whenever they're ready to give it to you. And eventually you're going to get it. So what is this doing? Nothing really, as far as I can tell, besides ruining the relationship between us and them even further. And again, they've done stuff constantly to harm the relationship as well. But two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I mean? So I guess now that I've gotten that out of the way, true, exactly. Yeah. So let's dive into a little bit of this and see what Rockstar has to say about this early leak and everything. So Rockstar devs react to Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer leak. This flippin' sucks. Shortly after leaking on X, Rockstar released the official GTA 6 trailer early. It's not fun for developers when trailers leak early for their games, but I imagine even less so when your studio has something new to share as rarely as Rockstar does. The studio planned to premiere the first GTA 6 trailer this morning at basically 10 minutes ago. People were so excited about it that thousands were sitting around in the live stream chat 24 hours ahead of time to get hyped about the game. Then earlier yesterday, the full trailer leaked onto X with an ugly crypto watermark glazed over the center of the screen. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. This forced Rockstar's hand. Dude, like I've talked about, the leaker's account was suspended, but rather than let that pixelated, partially obscured version of the trailer circulate for the next 12 hours, Rockstar went ahead and posted the official trailer on YouTube early. It's a good trailer, but some Rockstar employees are annoyed that their big reveal was moved forward by a leak, and I cannot blame them. This is that they were going to have some kind of trailer reveal kind of party at the dev, and you know what I mean. And dude, that had to put a huge dampener on the whole vibe of what they were having going on there and stuff too. That sucks for them. This sucks, wrote Rockstar senior gameplay animator Javier Altman on X. I was hoping to watch this for the first time tomorrow along with my fellow teammates and coworkers. I feel we deserved that moment, he wrote in a follow-up. I'm actually not going to watch this until I'm in the office with the people I made this with and who worked so flippin' hard to make it happen, which is exactly what I did this morning too. I waited. We just watched it. I waited until it was supposed to premiere because I told everybody in this community that we were going to watch it together. And if anybody watched it beforehand, okay, that's cool. But I didn't want to watch it without everybody that I told I was going to watch it with, right? And so that was important to me. And I wanted to make sure that if anybody else was hyped about watching it together, that it was going to be my first look at it, and along with you guys. You know what I mean? Graphics programmer Angel Ortiz is holding off on watching the trailer until he can see it with the people who worked hard to make it happen. Rockstar senior programmer Connor was a little louder with the disappointment. Flipping seriously. Sorry for the rage, Connor continued in a follow-up, but the trailer leak is just so disheartening. I was really looking forward to watching the premiere with everyone. A lot of people were. One developer who deleted their comment chose the visual medium of emoji to express their feelings. Yeah. Yeah, enjoy, folks. Would have been nice to do this with all of you at the same time. Yeah, agreed. Senior gameplay designer Phil Beveridge, Beveridge? Beveridge? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Shared the trailer, adding, it would have been nice to do this with all of you. Yeah. Still, many Rockstar devs are taking it on the chin and basking in the excitement all the same. Even one developer who worked on GTA 6 for years before moving on to Infinity Ward. Several other devs are sad it had to happen this way, but are still psyched the first glimpse of their work is finally out in the wild. Yeah, feels bad, dude. Even though Rockstar's marketing event didn't go as planned, it must feel good to finally lift the veil on a super secretive project you're proud of. Like a big, satisfying sigh after a long day. I sympathize, but years down the road, most of us are going to forget this happened because we'll be talking about it happening with another project, unfortunately. Millions of people are going to watch this trailer as they wait over a year for GTA 6, and the unimportant details of its early arrival will fade into the background. GTA 6 is set to release on PlayStation and Xbox in 2025, but no PC date was announced, which has us expecting another Red Dead Redemption 2 situation where the PC version comes out later. PC players are going to riot. You can also read PC Gamer's reaction to observations from the trailer. We kind of already were expecting this, because this is normally the play from Rockstar. They like to release on console and make PC wait. And we know that PlayStation has like basically publishing rights to this and everything too. Yeah, they've done it traditionally. Traditionally, they've contracted publishing rights for console over PC. So PC always comes in late most of the time for Rockstar games. So, I mean, consider me not surprised here, you know, about that aspect of this. I was kind of expecting that, and we had talked about it a little bit over the past couple of days in the news, video gaming news segments, where, you know, anticipating the trailer and stuff, but it doesn't feel good, you know. Yeah, true. So, I don't know. Again, I think that you know, a lot of my sentiments that I talked about before even, you know, after watching before and after watching the trailer, and before we read into this article, were actually kind of hit on in the article too, which is good because I think a lot of us feel this way too. Unfortunately, there's also an amount of the population that just doesn't care. They don't look at this critically, and they don't look at what it does to strain the relationship and degrade the relationship between us and the developers and you know, publishers and stuff, because they just don't really care, and that sucks. We need to be working on trying to rebuild relationships here rather than degrade them. And I mean, you know, which is why I constantly try to educate people on supporting the good developers, good publishers. When they show you a trend of doing good stuff, support that. Don't support the bad ones. Support the good ones and things. You know what I mean? But we need to quit doing this kind of stuff too, because this is not good in my opinion.